Stargate is expanding. No, it's not science fiction. It's part of the joint venture between ChatGPT parent OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank's $500 billion plan to open 5 new data centers across the country to support the growth of artificial intelligence in the United States. The flagship location now partially open in Abilene, Texas. And that is where we find Madison Alworth, who got one of the first looks at the center, and you got to speak with Sam Altman. Madison, fascinating.
Hey, Cheryl, yes, I did, and it is absolutely fascinating. It's quite remarkable. You really can't understand just how large these projects are until you get on the ground. And Stargate is one of the largest infrastructure projects in American history, and now it has gotten even bigger with this announcement. Texas getting 3 of these new Stargate sites. So there are 5 new data centers in total that were announced across Texas, New Mexico, Ohio, and one to be announced in the Midwest. This expansion that was announced brings Stargate to nearly 7 gigawatts of planned capacity and over $400 billion in investments over the next 3 years. This puts them on a clear path to the $500 billion 10 gigawatt commitment made in January with the Trump administration. Now, some critics say that this is just 3 companies paying each other in a cycle. But OpenAI CFO Sarah Friar, she tells Fox Business that this is a collaboration that's necessary to move forward the most innovative technology of our time.
The whole ecosystem needs to band together to create compute at the scale and at the speed that we need to give everyday normal people access to intelligence, to go about their lives, better healthcare, better education, and so on.
And all that money goes into all of this physical infrastructure. We were part of the first group of media to get access into Stargate Abilene since its partial opening in July. Right now, there are 2 buildings up with the plan to open 6 more across the 1,100 acres. And like I said, it's really hard to understand the pure size of this operation until you arrive there. It's a mini city. You got roads, traffic jams, food tents, and around 6,000 people arriving for work each and every day. And to get the benefits of this infrastructure into consumers' hands, well, you need devices. And there's been a lot of talk about OpenAI's future device, a lot of speculation. So I asked Sam Altman. He wouldn't nail down exactly what to expect, but I did get him on the record for the Claim and Countdown on what not to expect.
We're a ways away from shipping anything, and when we ship something, we don't know if it'll be the right first thing or if it'll take some work. We're very early, but I'm excited about the potential space.
Are we thinking pin? Phone?
No pin. First of all, we'll do a small family of devices. It's not just, I don't think there's quite just a single thing, but we'd still got to work and figure it out.
Okay, so you heard it, a family of devices potentially, but he said no wearable pin. So there you go, we got that on the record. And then when it comes to this flagship Stargate location here in Abilene, those 2 buildings are up, 6 more to go. Oracle tells us the goal is to have those up and fully running by next year. Cheryl?
And the industry needs it, so the faster the better. Madison Alworth, great interview with Sam Altman. Thank you so much, Madison. Well, the centerpiece of the AI revolution are still the chip companies. But which chips do you want to buy on the dip? Today's Countdown Closer thinks that you need to focus on the supply chain of AI. Let's bring in Pence Capital Management Chief Investment Officer Dryden Pence. He has $3 billion in assets under management. And what are those?
Well, basically, these buildings that you just showed, they're going to be full of the following things from the following companies. TSMC is probably the most important company in the world because it makes 90% of all the GPUs that is going in to power AI. This is the infrastructure of AI, and it's what's absolutely required. ASML is a very key company to that because they really control 100% of the extreme ultraviolet light lithography machines. You can't make the chips that TSMC needs to make unless you buy equipment for ASML. And then the next big company that you have is Broadcom. Broadcom is kind of the picks and shovels of all of this, and they make not only a broad set of chips, but they make a set of chips that are customized to the things that we need in the future. So those 3 companies that have tremendous demand and are absolutely essential at the choke point of this AI revolution are ones that are dominating. So you have lots of companies buying their stuff, but they've got to buy it from these three. And that's why we think that they have long-term futures.
No, and one of the things you point out, it's astonishing to me, 700 million people use ChatGPT on a weekly basis. 700 million people. That's an incredible number. Unbelievable. Let me get your take on the markets real quick here. S&P 500 in particular. You were one of three guests today on the show that are incredibly bullish on the S&P 500. But what you say here, I think, is so interesting. Across the cutting cycles, Fed, the S&P 500 averages an annual rate 14.9%. If you take out a recession out of that story, the pace is 25.2%. What's your call for the end of the year?
Well, we're not in a recession. We don't see one coming. So we think that this cut cycle is going to be extremely stimulative to the market over the next year and over the next 2 years. So what you have is you don't have a recession. We're not recovering from a recession. We've got a strong basis of the economy going forward, and we have a Fed cutting into it. So we think the example is going to be over the rest of 25, 26, moving into 27. We're very positive on the markets because it's all about earnings. And companies that have to borrow are now paying less. All that goes accretive to earnings. Interest rates go down, costs go down, earnings go up. And so we think that earnings projections for the next 2 years are going to continue to be beats, and we think that's good for the markets.
Very bullish. Dryden Pence, we love it. Thank you so much, sir.